A small-town neighborhood. White fences, trimmed hedges, American flags waving in the summer breeze. Families sitting on porches, kids riding bikes, sprinklers ticking across bright green lawns. But for one man, that peace was about to be tested. His name? Michael Turner, a retired Army sergeant. 22 years of service. 3 tours overseas. Bronze Star. Now, he just wanted a quiet life. A chance to raise his teenage son, tend his garden, grill on the weekends, and watch the flag he fought for ripple proudly above his home. That flag meant everything to him. Not just cloth and stitches, but sacrifice, brothers lost, sleepless nights, a promise to his country. But to one person in that neighborhood, it was an eyesore. Her name? Karen. From the very first day Michael moved in, she was watching, clipboard in hand, lips pursed, always with something to say about rules. First, she complained about the color of his shutters, then about his pickup truck being too large for the driveway, then the sound of his wind chimes being too distracting. But when her eyes locked on the flagpole in his front yard, the stars and stripes flying high, that's when things escalated. One afternoon, Michael was washing his truck when she marched across the street, papers flapping in her hand. "Excuse me," she snapped. "We need to talk about your flag." Michael raised an eyebrow. "My flag?" "Yes," she said firmly. "The HOA has strict regulations. No flags taller than 6 feet. No flags larger than 3 by 5. And certainly no military insignia. This," she jabbed a finger at the flagpole, "has to come down immediately." Michael calmly wiped his hands on a rag. "Ma'am, that flag is within regulations, and it's not coming down." Karen's nostrils flared. "Listen, sir, you may think your service gives you special privileges, but around here we have standards, and I enforce them. You have 24 hours to remove it or face daily fines." Michael didn't flinch. "Do what you need to do. But that flag isn't going anywhere." Karen stormed off, muttering about troublemakers. The next morning, a notice was taped to Michael's door. $250 fine. Noncompliance. Remove flag immediately. By afternoon, another, then another. Karen strutted to the neighborhood, pointing to flag, telling anyone who'd listen how this man thinks he's above the law. But while she whispered, Michael made a few calls. Saturday morning arrived. Clear skies. Sunlight bouncing off the flagpole. Karen was already on her porch, phone in hand, ready to call the HOA board and boast about her victory. Then she heard it. Engines. Dozens of them. The rumble grew louder, shaking the street. Neighbors stepped out of their homes, shading their eyes. And then the convoy appeared. Motorcycles, jeeps, pickup trucks, all flying military flags. POW, MIA, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army. Chrome glinting. Engines roaring. One by one, veterans rolled up and parked along Michael's driveway. Men and women in leather vests, ball caps, patches stitched with years of service. American flags mounted on every vehicle. Michael stepped forward, arms crossed, as his brothers and sisters in arms lined up beside him. Karen's jaw dropped. What is this?" Michael's voice was calm, but carried across the whole street. "You said I had 24 hours to take down my flag. Well, I called some friends. Thought they might want to weigh in." The lead rider, a Marine with a beard down to his chest, revved his bike and pointed at Karen. "You got a problem with one of us? You got a problem with all of us?" The crowd erupted in cheers. Neighbors who had stayed silent before clapped and waved. Some even brought out their own flags, raising them high in solidarity. Karen's face flushed crimson. This is intimidation. I'll have you all fined. Arrested." But at that moment, a police cruiser rolled up, not with sirens, not with lights, but with respect. The officer stepped out, nodded at Michael, and saluted. "Morning, Sergeant. Heard there was some trouble about your flag. Just wanted to make it clear you're within your rights. No one can touch that flag. Not the HOA. Not anyone." Karen sputtered. "But the bylaws." The officer cut her off. "State law protects veterans' right to fly the American flag. I'd advise you to stop harassing this man before you're the one facing charges. Gasps. Applause. Phones recording every second. Karen's power melted in front of everyone. That night, the HOA called an emergency meeting. The fines? Wiped clean. The rules? Amended. From then on, military flags were not only allowed, they were encouraged. And Karen? Stripped of her position. Shunned by neighbors. Her clipboard? Now just a useless stack of papers gathering dust. Weeks later, Michael hosted a barbecue. Veterans, neighbors, families, all gathered in his yard. Kids played under the waving flag. Burgers sizzled on the grill. Laughter filled the air. And Karen? She stayed inside, blinds drawn, a bitter silhouette behind the glass. Because she had tried to silence patriotism, but instead it roared louder than ever. She tried to bring down a flag. Instead, she raised an army. And in the end, justice flew higher than hate.